Today we are going to be upgrading the Ariel Rider X Class's suspension. This will give a better, more comfortable ride, suit better for off-road, and be a lot more capable than the stock suspension that comes on the bike. Here's a bit of a close-up of the new DNM Burner RCP-2S that we will be installing. A few advantages over the old shock are the 550-pound spring, which is much easier to compress, and this new shock has adjustable compression, which you can use to adjust how easily it is to compress the spring under load. And then on the bottom we have an adjustable rebound knob. This adjusts how quickly the spring returns back to its extended position after hitting a jump or a bump in the road. Both of these are highly adjustable and can be fine-tuned to your liking after installation. So let's install the new shock right where the old one used to be. It's a pretty simple process. All we have to do is take out this top bolt and the bottom bolt that are connecting the shock absorber, remove those and install a new shock and put everything back together. Let's show you how to do that right now. All the tools you'll need are right here. You need two 6mm Allen keys, one flathead screwdriver, and your new shock. Alright, to remove the old shock is super simple. Just take your two 6mm Allen heads, take one on the one side of the bolts and one on the other. Now, if you start to unscrew this bolt and you can turn the head but the bolt doesn't seem to be backing out, this might mean you are on the wrong side and you are trying to turn the axle that goes through. When you're on the right side, once you unscrew the bolt, you should start to see it backing away. After you start unscrewing, leave a little bit of a gap between the edge of the bolt and the bracket that holds the shock in. So once you have that bolt backed out just a little bit, what you like to do is get your T-handle Allen head here and just give it a nice few taps to pop that through. Now, once we have the bolt out from this side and our axle is sticking out a little bit to where we can grab it, if you don't have it far enough out, this is where you can use the flathead screwdriver to kind of pry it out just a little bit more. What you're going to want to do next is start to pull on this. Now, if you have the bike upside down, the weight of the wheel is going to be pushing on this, making it a little bit tight. So I suggest holding underneath the bike, underneath the wheel, lifting up a little bit, and pulling out. A little bit of force should be able to pop the axle right out. Now just lift your suspension, let your wheel rest. Once you get everything taken out, it should look like this, and you should have the axle and the bolt that goes through it together. Here are the two different axle sizes. The smaller one is for the front of the bike with the smaller bracket, and the larger one is for the rear that connects to the wheel assembly that has a larger bracket back there. Just keep those separated. Both the new DNM Burner and the old stock Ariel Rider shock are 240mm long and have 8mm bore holes for the axles to fit in. There is only one slight difference between the two shocks. On the stock Ariel Rider shock, the rear bushing is very thick to account for the extra space in the back bracket. The DNM Burner does not have bushings this thick, but all I did was grab 6 8mm inside diameter washers, and I used those as a shim. Here's where things can get a little bit tricky. So you're going to start by threading your axle through just a little bit. Now take 3 of those washers or bushings if you have them and set that on just like so. So we're just going to put that back on and then start threading your axle through the front of your suspension. Should be able to push that through until it just barely gets through to the other side of the shock. Might have to work the axle and the washers around a little bit to get everything to line up, but once you do, you should be able to push them through. You can begin to see the axle sticking through the other side. Now take your bolt, start to get that threaded in. Get everything snugged up, and it should look like this. should be able to freely move your suspension up and down while it is firmly attached in there. So lift your back wheel up and kind of move the suspension into place and get your axle started through there. And once you get it lined up, just press through until it makes it the whole way in. Get your bolt started into the axle here, and then tighten the rest of the way with your Allen key. Make sure to put the other Allen on the other side to ensure that you can get a firm closure on everything. Make sure it's all tight. Once you get the new shock installed, it should look something like this. Just ensure that everything's all tight and snug and you don't have any play in the suspension here. This new shock helps out tremendously over small bumps in the road and imperfections, as well as bigger drops. It just handles it a lot better. It rebounds quickly enough to get you ready for the next bumps, but isn't jarring like the old shock. This is the 550-pound spring rate, and it is a lot more comfortable than the 1000, but I am 180 pounds and I think I could probably go for maybe a 400 or a 350 just for an even cushier ride. But this thing holds up well even on trails, gives you enough support. Like I said, it just handles a lot better and keeps the rear wheel a lot more planted than the original stock shock. Just makes it way more comfy to ride and feel like a million times better than the original shock. So if anyone is interested in making their Ariel rider feel a little bit better on road and off road, you can check out the link in the description of this video for the DNM Burner RCP-2S. If you purchase through this link, I get a little bit of a commission, which will help this channel grow. And we can make more videos on upgrades for the X-Class or other P.E.V related accessories. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and let me know what you're interested in for next time. What else should we try with this X-Class? Thanks for watching.